If you still think tech is the fastest path to millions, you're living in the past. The fastest growing millionaires are building wealth in self-storage facilities. These boring windowless metal boxes returned 480% over the last decade, generate 40 to 50% profit margins, and made a guy named Wayne Hughes a billionaire before he died. Right now, there are over 50,000 self-storage facilities across America, collectively worth over $50 billion. Yet most people don't even know this industry exists until they need it. Here's what nobody tells you. The most overlooked real estate play is the one people see every day, but never think twice about. That's exactly what self-storage is and why it prints money for business owners round the clock. In 1972, a guy named Wayne Hughes started a company he called Public Storage with a single facility in California. The concept was simple: build cheap metal boxes, rent them out monthly, make bank. No one thought this idea was revolutionary. It was boring, unsexy, the kind of business only people without any imagination would ever consider. But guess what? By the time Hughes died in 2021, that unsexy idea had made him worth $3.3 billion. Today, Public Storage is the largest self-storage company on Earth with over 3,000 facilities, generating over $4 billion annually. And before you think that was a fluke, he wasn't the only one. Extra Space Storage currently has over 4,000 locations. CubeSmart built a $9 billion empire, and between 2010 and 2020, self-storage REITs returned 480%, crushing office buildings, retail space, and even apartments. If you don't already realize why this is odd, 2010 to 2020 was horrible for business owners. The 2008 financial crisis had just happened, and everything had collapsed. Self-storage occupancy, on the other hand, barely dipped. Why? It's simple. When times get tough, people downsize, move, divorce, or lose their homes. And every single one of these things creates demand for storage. Remember 2020? After COVID hit, remote work exploded, people fled the cities, and suddenly everyone needed a place to stash their stuff while they figured out their lives. Meanwhile, self-storage facility owners stacked their millions. In the middle of an economically devastating pandemic, self-storage occupancy shot to 96% nationally, the highest in history. Of course, naturally, operators jacked up their prices 20 to 30% in 1 year, and tenants paid it because where else were they going to go? Before you knew it, small-time operators with barely 3 to 5 facilities quickly became big-time millionaires. No press, no fanfare. Just monthly checks that never stopped coming in. The pattern couldn't be any clearer. While everyone else chased the next Tesla or crypto boom, self-storage operators milked their cash cow, running the most boring buildings imaginable. So, what makes self-storage the invisible money printer? Here are 3 reasons most people never figure out, beginning with the most obvious one: insanely low overhead. Self-storage has the lowest operational costs of any real estate model, period. An apartment complex needs maintenance crews, leasing agents, landscapers, emergency repair teams, the works. A self-storage facility, on the other hand, 1 manager, maybe 2 if you want to get really fancy. In fact, most facilities even run on automation now. Tenants book online, get their gate code via email, and pay through an app. The entire operation runs itself, and tenants don't even ever have to interact with a person, which means operators don't need to hire anyone. That's a major cost avoided. Plus, with self-storage, there's nothing to break. No plumbing, no HVAC, no appliances, just metal boxes and concrete. The result? Profit margins twice that of traditional rentals. Revenue in, minimal expenses out. The math is stupid simple, and you don't even need a lot to start out either. There are many small operators in the self-storage industry today, managing multiple facilities from a laptop, wearing pajamas in their bedrooms. And when it's time to scale and add more units, modular construction, vertical building, no need for any complex renovations. Just build it once and keep collecting the checks forever. And now to the second reason self-storage is a solid millionaire maker. Demand for self-storage is recession-proof. Here's something critical to understand about self-storage. The demand curve for these buildings doesn't follow the stock market. It follows life transitions. In fact, there's something the self-storage industry calls the 4 Ds: death, divorce, downsizing, and deployment. Regardless of the economy, recession or not, these transitions are constantly happening. And that's the primary reason self-storage is recession-proof, because it's always a must-have even when the economy is crashing. 2008, for instance, the real estate bubble bust. Traditional rentals suffered 67% losses. Meanwhile, self-storage kept posting 5% gains, with barely any foreclosures. When COVID came around, the same thing happened. Retail died, offices emptied, self-storage hit record highs. This is why investors treat the self-storage industry like insurance. It's boring, it's predictable, it's safe, except it pays 10x better than bonds. As for smart money looking to hedge, storage is always a go-to because when everything else tanks, storage grows or stays flat at the very worst. Get a pen and write this down. Boring isn't weakness. Boring is bulletproof. And the faster you learn that on your journey to building wealth, the better for you. Now, to the final reason self-storage is a money printer. Hidden zoning advantages. Here's something only insiders know. Zoning laws accidentally made self-storage operators rich. Most cities zone storage facilities as either industrial or commercial light. Translation, cheap land that no one else wants. And that right there is the self-storage zoning advantage. Look, you don't need Main Street. You need cheap dirt on the edge of town, land that costs a tenth of Main Street prices. And because what you're setting up are just metal boxes, not fancy buildings, property taxes stay low too. Plus, NIMBYs typically fight apartments and offices. But storage, no one cares. There's no noise, no traffic, no complaints. It's practically invisible to the community. So permits move faster, construction is simpler, and red tape disappears. Also, because most cities don't cap vertical builds, you can build up to 3-4 stories without needing any special approval. Now, if you like, you could throw in climate control to your units, which is really just air conditioning and humidity regulation. And suddenly you're charging 40% more for the same unit. Costs pennies to run, but tenants love that stuff and will willingly pay a premium for protection. But it gets even better because these zoning advantages exist almost everywhere. So for instance, when Main Street dies, that immediately presents a conversion opportunity. Dead retail space, abandoned strip mall, just convert it to storage. It costs less than demolition and rebuilding anyway. And when all the best locations in the big cities have been squeezed out, just head into the secondary markets. Competition is low, land is cheap, and demand is exploding. Same playbook, brand new market. That's how operators are quietly building $10 million to $50 million portfolios without anyone noticing. Look, these guys quietly stacking millions in self-storage are not smarter than you. They're not luckier than you either. They just recognized what boring actually means and doubled down. So, you can keep searching for the next big thing, or you can realize that the big thing has been sitting at the edge of town in a windowless metal building for 50 years. Either way, those boxes are getting filled. The only question is whether you're collecting the rent or paying it.